about that? Tell me, baby. Can you believe?
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Kane. Welcome back to my channel. Y'all already know when I'm sitting here in my chair, it's another story time. What else would it be? You know, every time I start my videos off, I would like to thank all of my subscribers slash family members, because without y'all, we wouldn't have this motion here. So y'all know we on this tour bus, on this road trip to, I'm gonna say 5K, because we getting close to 2K subscribers now, which is really dope. None of the names used in any of these story times, including this one, belongs to any of these people. Their names are being changed to protect their privacy. Their names are being changed to protect the privacy of the trifling and not the innocent. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start this story off. This story took place in Brooklyn, New York, in Crown Heights, and Flatbush. So it started in Manhattan, y'all. I was working at Dwayne Reed. Dwayne Reed is kind of like it's kind of like a Walgreens or a CVS or a Rite Aid. It's something of that kind, okay? You had the pharmacy in the store, and then you had where you can shop and buy stuff. It's almost the same to me. So y'all, I had got this job working at Dwayne Reed. This was like one of my first major jobs, okay? Like one of my first real major jobs. So I'm working there at this store, and I'm becoming friends with the coworkers, meeting different people, customers, things of that nature. So after my training and things like that, they placed me into a store. I was placed into the Dwayne Reed store that's on 34th Street in Manhattan. Okay, this is like my first real job. Let's see how this goes. Working at this store is kind of what tripped me off to knowing that retail is not for me. Okay, no matter how many times I tried it, this working at this store is what just made me realize, okay, you might want to rethink working in retail. Okay, I don't know what it was, y'all. It just, the store, working there, and these people, it just sent me. You had people coming in there wanting to fight and argue because they couldn't use a credit card to buy a pack of gum. They wanted to use a credit card to buy a bottle of lotion, you know. And these items were literally under $2, y'all, okay? And there was a limit. So while I was working there, I met this guy, and we're just gonna call him David. We're gonna call him David. There was three co-workers, okay? Because this whole entire time working at this job, I'm just gonna have to do story after story to speak about working here at this place. So we're just gonna start with this one. I had met this guy that was working at my job. He came in maybe like 2 weeks after I did from the training port. Then there was two other co-workers. We're the second co-worker, we're gonna call him Terrell, and the other co-worker, we're just gonna call him John Boy. Okay, so these three came in 2 weeks after me. Okay, so I'm there, I'm a cashier, I'm working in the front. I want to say it's like a Monday, okay, because it was really dead. Mondays were dead at this store. David comes through the door. He's got the Dwayne Reed vest on. He's got papers in his hands. This is like his first day, y'all. He's got papers in his hand. He walks through the door. My register was literally by the door, okay? And we had the door that rotates. So he comes through this little rotating door, and he stands there. He looks straight over at me. So it's me and it's two other cashiers. It's an older woman. We're just going to call her Gladys. And it was a short Mexican woman. We just going to call her Linda. So he walks in. He looks over at us. And he's like,
Excuse me. Today's my first day working here. Where do I go?
so Gladys says to David, I'll just call him. So she calls the manager to the front of the store. Now this manager had a very, he had a weird name, okay? I think he was from Haiti. So I'm just giving him the name Troy. We're just gonna call him Troy because he had a weird name. I don't even know how to pronounce it. All right, but she called Troy to the front. Okay, Gladys was from the island. Okay, so y'all know when I do my stories, I have to make y'all feel like y'all there so y'all can understand where I'm coming from. So don't laugh at none of my imitations of these voices. I'm not making fun of these people. This is how I try to get the voices out. Okay, so Gladys is from Guyana, I think. So she's just like, she goes to the phone and she's like,
Troy, can you come to the front, please?
so Troy comes to the front. This is the manager. He comes to the front and he's like,
Hey, how you doing?
because he's from Haiti, y'all. He's like, hey, how you doing? So David is like, hey, today's my first day working here.
Hey, how you doing?
So David is like,
Hey, today's my first day working here. I'm here.
so Troy is like,
Oh, okay. So you got your vest, you got everything? All right, cool. So go to the back, clock in, and then come back to the front.
like, this is how he talked. He talked really fast. So David is standing there. David's like,
Where? He's like, to the back. Go to the back.
like, he's literally telling David, go to the back, like David knows. So David goes to the back and he ends up finding it, y'all. He goes to the back, he clocks in, he comes back to the front. He's like, okay, this is the cashier's up here. This is Kane. This is, y'all know, he didn't call me Kane. He called me by my real name, but for the story, it's Kane. Because I had somebody ask that stupid question. So yeah, back to the story. He's like,
This is Kane. This is Gladys. This is Linda. Okay, these are cashiers. So yeah, if you want to work in the front, it's up to you. Or you can do the stocking. You can be stock boy.
so David is like,
I mean, I can do anything. I can do anything that you want me to do. Like,
it's a universal job, okay? Like, we had universal positions in this store. So it was like, if it was too many cashiers, somebody would go and do stock for the day, or y'all know what I'm saying, okay? So it wasn't just, I'm just a pure cashier, I don't do nothing else. It wasn't like that. It was, if today's Tuesday and we got 6 cashiers, all right, 3 of y'all is gonna have to be on the floor doing stock. That's how it would be. So when they trained us, they would train us for everything. They trained us how to use the register, train us how to do everything, y'all. So Troy is telling David, you can just do stock today because we got three cashiers up here. So if it happens to get really busy, you will go to cashier number 4. You will log in. I'm gonna give you the login code, and this is what he's telling David. So David goes to the back and he's getting the dollies. The dollies had the stuff on it, and he's helping. The African, it was an African guy. He don't need a name because he's not gonna really be too much in this story, but he's helping the African guy take the boxes off and stock the shelves. So the day is going by, y'all. It's going by quick and smooth. The manager comes to the front. He's like,
can you go and go to break? Go to break.
So I'm like, all right. So I go and I'm going to the clock room because there was a room with the time clocks in it. I goes in the clock room. I clocks out, and I'm walking past the aisle that David and the African guy is in. David drops the box, like throws the box down, and he comes over and says,
Yo.
So I turn around. I'm like, what's up? He goes,
you about to go on break?
I'm like, yeah. He goes,
oh.
So I'm like, wow, what happened? He's like,
you clocked out already?
And I'm like, yeah, why? What's wrong? He's like,
my name's David.
So I'm like, I know. Like, I seen you earlier when you came in, and your name tag says David. So he's like,
yeah,
like, this is what he's doing. He just kept saying, So the African guy stands up, and the African guy is like,
I think he's interested in you.
And David looks over at him and starts laughing. So I'm like, is that right? He's like,
yes. I was trying to see if you want to go on break. with me. Like we can go together, but you already went.
So I'm like, I mean, well, you literally came in an hour after me, so just see if he'll let you take the break. Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, David was cute. David was tall, um, light skin, not red bone light skin, but like light skin, fair skin, and he had long braids, like the Meek Mills, long curly hair. It was soft and it was braided. So, and he had this thin mustache, like really, really thin. So he goes up to Troy because Troy was secretly dating the pharmacy girl in the back. Okay, that's why I said I had to give y'all story after story about this sequel here because this is crazy. So David goes to the register at the pharmacy and he's calling Troy. So Troy peeks from the side of the wall and he's like,
What's up, man? What's up? What's up?
so David is like,
Hey, I was wondering if I could take my break right now.
so Troy goes,
Who's on break? Who's on break?
he goes to the clock room and he's looking at the clock to see who's on break. So he goes,
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take break. Take break. Cause normally when it's like 4 or 5 people on break, it's too many. So go ahead. Go. Just go. 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 Go.
so so David goes and he clocks out and I'm standing by the steps. Okay, I'm standing by this door. This door led to the back, which goes down. We go downstairs and we have lunch downstairs. The break room is downstairs up under the store. So, y'all, I did not get along with Troy at all. Okay, me and Troy went at it like cat and dog in this store. Okay, I didn't get along with this man. I was literally at this store for less than a month and I was already beefing with the manager. Okay, so Troy he's walking past and he sees me standing at this door. He goes,
I told you to go on break.
I said, I am on break.
Oh, so you're gonna spend your break standing right there?
I said, is it any of your business? If I'm not on the clock, it shouldn't bother you. He goes, all right. And he goes back up to his girlfriend that he thinks nobody knows about. So y'all, David comes skipping to his loo, like literally skipping out of the clock room. He walks over to me and he's like,
So I ain't bring no food, like no lunch. Are we going to a restaurant or you going downstairs? If you going downstairs, I guess you're gonna share your food with me.
so I'm like, I ain't bring no food neither. I don't bring food. He's like,
So what was you gonna eat?
I'm like, I was gonna go next door. It was this restaurant next door. It was called Ranch One, I think. Y'all. Woo! That restaurant, ooh, that's where I gained my weight at, okay? That restaurant was slam mean, okay? The chicken, I'm really talking like I still eat meat. The chicken sandwich, it was like grilled chicken sandwich with the fries. Yo, the burger, everything in that restaurant was on point, okay? It was called Ranch One. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all can confirm that I'm not capping. This place has some good food. So I'm just saying to him, I'm like, yeah, I was gonna go across the street to Ranch One. That's where I was gonna go. He's like,
I never ate there before, so you ate there before?
I'm like, yeah. I had been there like 3 times already. Okay, this is my third time since I was working there. This is my third time going to that restaurant because I told y'all I overdo it. When something is really good, I don't know how to stop. So I'm just like, yeah, I've been there about 3 times already. I think you would like it. So he's like,
All right, cool, all right.
so we're walking out of the store. Gloria is looking like, and I smile at her, and we go through the little revolving. So we go through the revolving doors, and we go to a restaurant. The restaurant was literally across a hop, skip, and a jump. It was literally right across the street. So we goes into the restaurant, orders the food. David pays for my food. So I'm like, okay. So he pays for my food. He's like,
All right, are we gonna eat in the store or are we gonna eat here?
so I'm like, nah, we eat here. I'd eat here. Like, I never ate downstairs because there's this guy that be downstairs. Like he works for the store, but I don't know what he's doing down there. Okay. So, and he had a very, very distinct name, y'all. His name was Punani. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That was his name. But anyway, I'm just like, no, we're going to eat here in the restaurant and, vibe. Sitting down, we eating. David's asking me 1,000,001 questions. Where you from? How old are you? Do you have a boyfriend? Blah, blah, freaking blah. So I'm answering all his questions, okay? So he's like,
I know we just met and all that. Like I literally just seen you, but like I like how you look.
so I'm like, you like how I look? He's
It's like, yeah, like you have this look. I don't know, but I like it.
So I'm like, thank you. You are attractive too. That's what you're trying to say. So he's like,
Yeah, yeah. Like you're attractive, but it's just your look. Like I don't know. I like it. I really like it.
so I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. So he's just like,
Like, you talking to any of the guys in the store that work in the store?
I'm like, no. Like I literally been here. I just got here too. Less than a month. He's like,
Oh, okay. Well, I think we should hook up.
and he bites into his burger. So I'm like, hook up like, what do you mean? He's like,
Like, like I think we should hook up. I think we should, you know, I think we should hook up.
so I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was confused, y'all, for real, for real. So he's just, because hookup can be anything. He's like,
Hook up. Like me and you, we get together after work and do what we do.
so I'm like, you mean like a one night stand? He's like,
Like something like that. But it'll keep going because I know I'm gonna like you. Like I'm feeling you now. Like I'm feeling you and I like you as two different things. So I know after that I'm gonna start liking you.
so I'm just like, I'm biting into my food and I'm just looking at him like, this wigger is really out of his motherfucking mind. This is what I'm saying to myself. So I'm just like, so you want to have a one night stand, and the one night stand is going to help you determine if you want to continue to see me. He's like,
Yeah. But yes and no. Like I don't know, it's the way you worded it is making it sound bad. That's the no part.
so I'm like, all right, whatever, David. And I start laughing. He's like,
So what's up? Are we linking at the work or what?
so I'm like, nah, we can link a different day. He's like,
Like, what are you doing at the work?
so I'm like, I'm going home. He goes,
So that's stopping you from linking with me?
so I'm like, listen, I don't even know you. He like,
Like we getting to know each other right now.
so I'm like, all right. For me, it takes me time, y'all. I need at least 60 days to get to know somebody. You can be a mass unaliver. You get what I'm saying? You can be a professional unaliver. I do not know what you have going on with yourself. All I know is you walk through the revolving doors and you're a new employee to the job. Like, he's like,
Yeah, we gonna get to know each other. Like it's nothing. Cause like I said, I like how you look. You have this look. I don't know. Like I could just sit and stare at you all day. Like I'm intrigued.
so I'm like, all right, cool. It's fine. He's like, it's fine, meaning like we can link up. So I'm like, tomorrow, we can link tomorrow. So y'all, we goes back to the job, okay? So y'all, it's another guy that works at the store. His name is John Boy. I mentioned him earlier. John Boy, y'all keep John Boy in y'all head because he's a major, major person in these stories that's coming up, okay? John Boy looks at me and David as we're coming back into the store. He's like putting the chips on this shelf on this wall that's like by the door. So he's looking at us like, David sees it and David is like,
What the fuck is wrong with him?
I'm like, I don't know, he's a little thrown off, so just leave it alone. Don't pay it no attention. So he's like,
Alright. I mean, he's staring-ish. Like, what's up with him?
so I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm explaining to you, he's thrown off. Like, don't bother him. Just leave him alone. This is what I'm saying. because nobody at the job really talked to John Boy. Nobody gave John Boy a conversation. John Boy would walk around the store talking to himself, throwing tantrums to himself, all kinds of craziness, y'all. So, the next day, it is a Tuesday. I come into work. John Boy is in the front of the store. He's leaning on the register, like he's leaning on the space of where I'm getting ready to sign in at on this register. So as I'm signing in, I'm looking at him like signing in. He goes,
I need to ask you a question.
I'm like, okay. He's like,
The new guy,
I'm like, yeah.
that's your boyfriend?
I'm like, no, it's not my boyfriend. He goes, oh, so
Y'all don't know each other at all?
I'm like, no, I don't know anybody in the store. I'm getting to know everybody. He's like,
Oh, okay.
so he says,
what time do you take your lunch break?
I'm like, I don't know. It's random. Whatever time Troy tells me to go to lunch, that's the time I go to lunch. So he's like, okay. I'm just like, okay. He's like,
When I go on break, do you think you can take your break with me?
and I'm like, yo, I'm just like, what's going on here in this store? Like, what's happening here? Okay, you had David run and do this, and now you're trying to do it. Like, what's up? So I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't know what time I'm taking break. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna line up. It really didn't even line up with David. David went and took his break, like when he wasn't supposed to. This is just what I'm telling John Boy. So now it's time for me to go on break. Okay, it's time for me. The day has went by. It's time for me to go on break. Here comes David. David has been trying to take his break with me every single day, y'all. So he comes and he's like,
yeah, you on break?
And I'm like, yeah, I'm going on break in 5 minutes. He
like, all right, me too.
And walks away. So Gladys is seeing all of this. Gladys is like,
listen, gal. Listen, hot gal. We don't know what you got going on, but you need to watch yourself. You need to watch yourself.
So I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything. They are asking me, to have lunch with me.
She like, no, because we see Jean Boy asked you to take lunch with him, and now you got David. I know David take lunch with you yesterday, but you need to watch yourself. Watch yourself.
So I'm like, okay, all right. So Gladys, like I said, Gladys was an older woman. So she's just watching. She's just standing around watching. She wear these glasses, and her glasses would hang, like they would be on her face, but they would hang on her nose. Okay, like hang off her face, y'all. And she would look through the glasses, like she would look over the glasses, and then she would look up into the glasses. I don't know why she doesn't push them on her face, but yeah. So it's lunchtime now. Okay, I'm literally trying now. I'm trying to get out of the store without neither one of these wiggers bothering me. Okay, so that didn't work. David comes running, like I'm talking about running. He's like, yo,
are we going back to ranch?
And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But we can get the food and we can go downstairs. So he's like,
what's the difference? Are we going downstairs? I thought you said you don't like eating downstairs.
So I'm like, I just feel like going downstairs. I didn't want to say John Boy asked me to eat lunch with him, but I was trying to kill two birds with one stone, y'all. Okay, I don't know. I wasn't being messy. Neither one of these wiggers was my boyfriend. Okay, they were co-workers. I know what they was trying to do. They were trying to court me, and it wasn't working. Okay, so we goes to ranch. We gets our food, and we comes back into the store, and we go downstairs. John Boy is sitting at the table. He had brung his own food. He had microwaved it or whatever. So We sit down at the table. David is taking all the stuff out because everything was in one bag. He's taking everything out of the bag. John Boy is looking like. So David is like.
What was your name again?
And John Boy's like.
Who, me?
He's like.
Yeah, what was your name?
He's like.
John Boy.
He's like.
Oh, okay. That's like one name, or is that like your nickname? Is your name John?
So John Boy goes.
Why does that even matter?
David is like. Sorry. So y'all. John Boy didn't say one word to neither one of us. He ate his food. He just kept looking at me, like with a disgusted look. Okay, he's looking at me with a disgusted look every time he put the fork in his mouth. And David is noticing it. David is looking at me and then looking at John Boy. It was just quiet the whole time. We didn't say one word. Okay, the only person that was talking was that man that was downstairs. That I say his name is Punani. He's on the phone. He's made like 10,000 phone calls the whole time we were sitting down there. So this lunch break was awkward, okay? We didn't say anything. So now when it's time to go back upstairs, y'all, David is walking behind me. We get to the top of the stairs, and David puts his arms around me, like, and I'm just like, you know, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like,
Oh, my bad. Like, I wasn't supposed to do that.
I'm like, no. I only know you for 2 days. What's up? He's like,
You really be counting the days of how long you've known somebody? Like,
and I'm like, yes, that matters to me. He's like,
damn, okay. Well, my bad. So should I do that next week?
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and clock in. I'm gonna go ahead and clock back in and get to the front because I see some lines. So as I'm clocking in, y'all, David comes and stands beside me. He's like,
You know what? You should give me your phone number because I'll be wanting to talk to you when I go home.
this is the day 2, y'all. This is literally day 2. So I'm just like, I'll think about it. He's like,
No, you gonna give me your phone number so I can talk to you.
so I'm like, all right. So y'all, I gives him my phone number, okay? I goes to the front. I'm cashing the customers and stuff out. John Boy comes to the side of my register. Now, my register wasn't at the door no more. My register is on the other side of the store where you enter to go to the registers, okay? John Boy comes right there to the little swinging door. He's like,
I thought I asked to have lunch with you.
so I'm like, we did have lunch, but you didn't want to talk. He's like,
No, you came downstairs with that guy. I was trying to have lunch with you, just me and you.
so I'm like, well, I didn't know that. You should have said that. He's
It's like, all right, so what about tomorrow?
So I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm off tomorrow.
He's like, yeah, what about Thursday? Can I put it baited before him?
So I'm like, okay. He's like,
Like, all right, so Thursday. So Thursday we go on break together, and he's not involved.
so y'all, I'm like, all right. I don't know how to do this because now it's like David is very consistent, okay? So Gladys here comes over.
See, me just told you. He's going to get, you need to watch yourself. Okay, especially with him because something is wrong with him.
She's
Like, something is wrong with him. You know, he's come to the star maybe 3 months ago. Is something wrong with him? Don't play around with him. No, you see, he question you about you being with David.
I'm like, yeah. She's like,
There's something wrong with him. Okay? Watch yourself. I'm telling you, you and that buyer, watch yourself. Watch yourself.
so I'm like, all right, I'm watching myself. So, y'all, it's time to go home now, okay? Here comes David. David is like,
Me and Terrell, we gonna ride the train. You gonna ride the train with us?
and I'm like, where do y'all stay at? Like, I live in Brooklyn. So David is like,
Like, so do I.
so I'm like, all right, cool. All right. So y'all, we ride on the train. We ride on the train together, and David is like,
You work tomorrow?
I'm like, no, I'm off. He's like,
Like, me too.
so I'm like, how did you get the same off day as me? Like, that's not making sense. He's like,
Because I seen the schedule and I asked Troy if I can get the same day off.
I'm like, all right, what do you have up your sleeve? David is like,
I wanted us to link up.
so I'm like, all right, we're going to link up. I just want to see what exactly it is you want to do so bad, like linking up. He's like,
You're not a braid hair?
so I'm like, yeah, not a braid hair. He's like,
God, how about you could wash my hair, braid my hair for me, I'll pay you.
so I'm like, I need the money up front. He's like,
You want to pay you right now?
so I said, no, like when I'm getting ready to do your hair, I need the money right then and there. And I was just saying it because I know he just started the job, so I wasn't sure like if he had money, y'all. So he's like,
No, I got you. I'm gonna pay for it. Like, I can pay you right now.
so I'm like, all right, yes. So he goes in his pocket, he takes out $25, hands me $25. That's how much I charged him. This is back in the days, y'all, okay? So, and he wanted 8 cornrows, 8 big ass cornrows going back, all right? So I'm like, all right, so where am I gonna do your hair at? He's like,
You can come to my house.
so I'm like, all right, cool. So the next day, he calls my phone. He's like,
My mother is here.
so I'm like, all right, is that a problem? He's like,
Like, no, it's not a problem. It's just she can be annoying sometimes.
I'm like, okay, so what do you want me to do? He's like, you live by yourself? I'm like, no, I live with my mother. At this particular time. He's like,
Would your mother be okay with me coming over there to get my hair done?
and I'm just like, she might have something to say. So he's like,
All right, well, I guess you can come over here.
so I'm like, all right, well, send me the address and I'll be on my way. So he lived in Flatbush, okay? And I took the bus to his house because he really wasn't as far as I thought. So I took the bus. I think it was like 2 buses. I took 2 buses to his house, y'all. I get there. He meets me outside. And I go upstairs. His mother is in the living room. She was watching Maury, I think. Maury or Jerry Springer. She was watching something, but she was yelling at the TV. So this is when I realized that David was from another country because the mother had an island accent as well. So they were from Jamaica. So the mother turns and I guess she sees like the ass end of me going. She's like,
Who's that?
she just yells really loud, who is that? So David is like,
It's me, Ma.
No. Who's that? You brought somebody in here? Who's that?
so he's like,
Oh, this is my friend. She gonna do my hair for me.
so I come to the living room door and I'm like, hello, how you doing? I'm Kane. She goes,
How you doing?
so I'm like, I'm good, and you?
He's like, you're a hairstylist.
So I'm like, yeah. He asked me to braid his hair.
Where meet each other?
So David is,
It's like she works at my job.
she's like,
Oh, okay. I thought it was some fast Jezebel you bring to my house.
he's like,
Knows she's not a fast Jezebel. Somebody that works on my job. She's gonna do my hair for me.
so she
Like, all right, as long as you two are not inside the room and the doors closed, nothing, because me not being grandmother.
so David is like,
All right, you good, Ma.
so I wash his hair, blow drying it, I'm braiding his hair. The mother comes in the kitchen, she's sitting down eating the apple and she's watching me braid his hair. So then she stands up and she's like,
There's some good looking braids.
so I'm like, thank you. So David looks up at me and then he's looking at his mother and his mother says,
What's the problem? You have a problem?
so David is like, no, I don't have a problem. She's like,
Oh, okay, because I see you're looking at me. Something wrong?
so he like, no, it's nothing wrong. So y'all, the mother goes back to the living room, okay, and David is like,
Like, this is what I was talking about. Like, she's nosy as hell.
so I'm like, it's all right, don't worry about it, I mean, this is her house. She wants to know who's coming into her house. Like, You can't bring somebody into somebody's house and then get mad at the fact that they're asking who this person is. So he's like,
Yeah, that's true.
so I do his hair and we go into the room. His mother comes to the room and she's like,
this door must stay open. It's not closed. You don't close the door. You hear me?
so David is like,
Like, you said that already. Like, you said that when you was in the kitchen.
I'm just letting you know. You don't close doors in my house. You don't pay no rent yet. You don't close no doors.
so he's like,
I mean, if I did pay rent, you still want the door open.
Yeah, because me not being no grandmother. Me too early. Me too young to be grandmother. I'm not being no grandmother, okay?
so he's like, all right. She leaves, go back to the living room. So he's like, so I'm like, what's the problem? He's like,
I was trying to touch on you.
so I'm like, touch on me? He's like, yeah. I said, no, you wasn't trying to touch on me. You asked me to do your hair. I did your hair. You paid me my ends. You know, I really can just leave. He's like,
No, we're vibing. We're gonna vibe.
so I'm like, all right. So y'all, me and David started to see each other, and it wasn't a relationship. We started to see each other. Like, you know, we would go on dates. We were hanging out tough, hanging out tight. And everything started going left. Like, I mean just left, okay? It started with David's mother. So I know y'all probably like, oh God, not one of these. She actually, and honestly, was the best mother to somebody that I was talking to or dating. She was really cool. So she started to see me at the house a lot more, okay? So one night they had some type of festival, some type of like a cultural festival or something. His family, he had a very large family. He asked me to come. So I goes with him to the festival with, you know, me, him, his mom, we all went. So they're drinking and everything. And you know, I don't drink. So the mother is just like, when we get into the taxi cab to go back to the house, I'm telling David, you know, I can take this cab straight home. Like, the cab can drop me off at my house and then y'all can just keep going because it's literally going to be bypassing my house. David's mother is like,
No. You come to the house. You spend the night at the house. It's okay. You come spend the night at the house. Me don't mind.
so David is like, me and David looking at her like, so David's like,
You sure about that? You telling her she could spend at the house?
she like,
Yeah. She's spending at the house. It's all good. She's spending at the house, but the door must stay open. It's still the same. The door is not going to be closed.
so he like,
And you let her sleep in a room with me?
so she like,
Yeah, because me like her. She's a good girl. Me like her. Good girl. She not Jezebel.
so I'm just like, you know, I really can just go home. Like, my house is coming up in a couple of lights.
She be like, no, we want you to stay in the house. We want you to stay. You know, we want you to stay. That's all I know.
You know, so I'm just like, so she says,
You work tomorrow.
so I said, yeah, at 4:00 I close. So
She go, David closed too.
so I'm like, yeah. So she's like,
You spend the night, you just go home. Me take you to your house, you go change your clothes. You know, it's not a problem.
so I'm like, all right. So we go back to the house. She's cooking a full course meal. Like, it's like 10 o'clock at night. This lady is cooking rice and peas, plantain. Like, she's cooking. Okay. She made stewed chicken, rice and peas, plantain, and something else. I think some cabbage. Like, she was cooking. So David is like,
She's never done nothing like this before. So I think she does like you.
so I'm like, really? He like, yeah. Like,
All the girlfriends I ever had or girls I bring here, she cursed them out. She told me get out. Like, she's never treated them like this. Never cooked for them or nothing.
so I'm like, wow, okay. Okay. So she like,
We cook this food. This is for us to eat. And then you take some. You have some for lunch for tomorrow. You have some for lunch for tomorrow.
so David is like, all right, cool. So y'all, it's time to go to bed. his mother comes and she's like,
may I have this gown. You can put this gown. This a long gown.
it was one of the long granny old school gowns, okay? It was baby blue and it had it buttons up right here and it had like the collar with the ruffles. It was long sleeve. She's like,
You put this on and you go ahead, go to bed. Leave the door open. This door stays open, David. It do not close.
so David is like, okay. So the mother walks away. I go take a shower. I puts on this gown and I go and I get on the bed. So I go, I lay down. David comes and gets on the bed and David is irritated because the door is open. So I'm just like, I mean, once again, this is your mother's house. It's cool. Like, he's
like, I still get hit with the door open.
So I'm just like, David.
I'm like, no, for real. Like, it just be slow.
Like, this is what he's saying, y'all. So I'm just like, we're not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. Your mother is in the next room. She wants the door open. Okay, I have on this 95-year-old granny gown. Like, no, I'm sorry. We're not doing it. So David is just like, please. Like, he just kept asking, please, please, please. Like, I think he said please like 10 times. So I'm like, no. I can't say no, no, no. So y'all, eventually it ended up happening, okay? Not that same night. This was a total different night. Now, I think David's mother knew. I don't know. But it just got weird, okay? So we're at work. John Boy is noticing that me and David have gotten much, much closer, okay? So we're taking lunch breaks together still. Everybody in the store is noticing it, okay? So Troy, the manager, comes over and says,
are you and David, you two an item? Like, you two together?
And I'm like, no. And I walked away. So he's walking behind me and he's like,
I mean, because, the whole star is talking about it.
So I'm like, I don't care what the store is talking about. No, we're not dating. We're not doing anything. We're just really close friends. This is what I'm telling the manager, telling Troy. So when I go to the front, Gladys is like,
David, you need to speak to David and tell David he need to close his mouth.
So I'm like, what you mean? She like,
David, go and tell people that you and him are boyfriend and girlfriend.
So I'm like, who he told that to? She's like,
he told it to the other stock boy. He told it to the Pepsi driver guy, because the Pepsi driver guy was looking, I guess, inquiring about you and Crystal. So he tell the Pepsi driver guy that you was his girlfriend, and he tell the other stock boy and the other two stock by. He tell Terrell too.
So I'm like, so when David comes in, I went straight up to him. I'm like, listen, are you telling people in the store that we're boyfriend and girlfriend? David starts laughing, punches his card and says,
why?
I'm like, are you telling people that? He's like,
I'm just putting people in their place. Nothing serious.
So I'm like, okay, so we're in a relationship? Because I don't recall you saying that we're in a relationship. He's like,
I mean, we've been spending a lot of time together, so I just kind of figured we was taking it there. But if we're not, I truly understand.
So I'm like, just give me some time to think about it.
He's like, all right, because I really like you a lot.
I'm like, all right. So y'all, later that day, I get a text on my phone from a number I don't know. The text says, can you come to the house when you get off work? So I'm like, who's this? We got to give his mother a name because I didn't give her a name. Let's just call her Wendy. So the text was coming from David's mother. She responds and says, Wendy, it's David's mom. So I'm like, oh, okay. She like, yeah, come by the house when you get off work. You get off the same time as David. I'm like, I get off at 9 o'clock. She's like, yeah, come by the house. So I'm like, okay. So I go to David because now I go back to David because I'm just trying to figure out how does this lady get my phone number, y'all. So I go to David and I'm like, your mother sent me a text and asked me to come by the house. He's like, yeah, I know. So I'm like, you gave her my number?
He's like, yeah, she wanted it.
So I'm like, okay. So y'all, it's time to leave, okay? Time to go home. Terrell comes walking up to me and David. Now Terrell is the other coworker that worked at the store. He was tall and skinny, brown skinny. He wore glasses. Y'all keep him in mind too. He walks up to us and says,
y'all need to watch yourself.
So I looked at Terrell because this is the same thing that Gladys has said. So I'm like, what do you mean watch myself? So he's like,
John Boy got a crush on you, and he's angry that you and David together.
so I'm like, me and David is not together. Like we just, we just winging it, however it's going. So Terrell was like,
well, whatever's going on, John Boy is angry about it. So you need to watch yourself.
So David is
like, what the fuck did you hear?
So Terrell is like,
I'm not the one to be with the he said, she said, but he was talking a lot of So y'all just need to watch yourself. Cause y'all know this wigger is slow, like something wrong with him.
So I'm like, okay. So David turns to me and David is like,
yeah, don't be taking on lunch breaks tonight with him. Like, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you see Terrell telling you, and then, you say Gladys told you need to stay away from homeboy. Like, just chill out with him.
We're leaving the store, y'all, okay? John Boy comes to the door and bumps Terrell really hard. So Terrell turns around and was like,
you good?
So John Boy's like,
yeah, I'm good. Are you good?
So Terrell was like,
yo, what I just told y'all.
So John Boy says,
what's that mean? Like, what, you was talking about me?
So Terrell was like,
listen, this ain't what you want. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not what you want. You was leaving, go ahead and
leave. So the other supervisor, the supervisor has to check our bags and pat us down to make sure that we didn't steal nothing out of the store. So they're patting the men down, and then they checked my bag, they checked Gladys' bag, and we leaves out of the store. So we're standing in front of the store. John Boy. So after they check Gladys' bag, the supervisor tells John Boy he can leave. So John Boy walks out of the door. He turns around. He looks at all of us and goes. He does that. So the supervisor closes the door and he's like, he doesn't need a name because he's not going to be in the story much longer. But he closes the door and he's like, yeah, I told him to leave because he's just really acting shifty and shady right now. And I don't know what's up with him. Y'all seen what he just did. So we're going to let him leave. Go ahead. He'll go down the block to the train station. Whatever he's going to do before I let y'all out. So Terrell was like,
I'm not scared. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not scared of that motherfucker. Because if he play with me, I'm going to play back with him.
So the supervisor is like, no, we don't want that to happen. Okay. Just let him leave. Go about his business. And then I'll let y'all out. So Gladys pulls me to the side. Gladys pulls me backwards. And Gladys is like,
see what me talking about? You see what me talking about?
So I'm like, yeah, I see it. I'm just telling Gladys, I'm like, yeah, I see it. She like,
yeah, stay away from him, please, because He's not well. It's something wrong with him.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stay away. So we walk back towards the door, and the supervisor goes, all right, I'm gonna let y'all out. So y'all, we leaves out of the store, okay? And Terrell is like,
I'm gonna go over to Ranch One and get me some food. And I guess I'm gonna holler at y'all.
so David like,
I'm gonna go over there too. You coming, King?
so I'm like, yeah. So we go across the street to the Ranch One restaurant, because this restaurant stayed open for 24 hours, y'all. It was dope. He goes over there and we're ordering our food. So Terrell, once it was time for me and David to go and order our food and pay for it, Terrell comes on the side of us and says,
Yo, this motherfucker did not leave. He was just outside of the window putting his middle fingers up.
so David had turned around. David was
Like who?
so I'm like, yeah, who are you talking about? He like,
John Boy.
so I'm like, John Boy. He's like,
Yeah, he ain't leave. He was just at the window with his middle fingers up. Like
so David is like,
you sure it was him?
he like,
Man, I know what this motherfucker looked like. It was him at the window.
so we get our food, y'all. And we leaving out of the store. John Boy comes running from the side of the building, y'all. And he has a blade in his hand and he's swinging the blade. He's like,
Yeah, y'all motherfuckers think y'all gonna play with me? Y'all think you gonna play with me? Ain't nobody gonna play with me. Nobody gonna play with me.
his voice started getting deeper and deeper. So Terrell was like,
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Terrell takes his book bag off, drops the book bag on the floor. He's pulling his uniform shirt off. So David is like, here. David hands me the bag of food and he's pushing me back through the door to the restaurant. He's like,
Go back in, go back in.
he's pushing me back in. The people in the restaurant, they're coming from behind the register. And Terrell and John Boy, they're squaring up. They're getting ready to fight. So David took his shirt off and he runs over. And now it's three of them getting ready to fight. So I'm just like, so the lady says,
what's going on?
So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. She's like,
y'all all work together.
I'm like, yeah. So y'all, the supervisor and the manager come running out of the store, okay? They are yelling and screaming at John Boy, asking John Boy, what the fuck is he doing? Okay? The supervisor's like, I've been let you out of the store. You've been had time to leave and go to the train station. Like, what is going on? So Terrell is like,
this motherfucker cut me. He cut me. He cut me on my hand. He cut me on my hand.
So John Boy had sliced Terrell on his hand. Terrell was bleeding, okay? Like, it was a small cut, but he was leaking really bad. So I'm in the store. I'm just like, see, the police and everything came. It was crazy. The police came. John Boy took off running, okay? They were talking to Terrell. They were talking to David. So I'm just like, I don't know what was going on, y'all. I really didn't. I had an idea. Okay, John Boy had a crush on me and he was angry. I don't know what his beef was with Terrell. I don't know. So the manager comes to the door because the people had locked the store door. The manager comes to the door. He's tapping on the door. The lady opens up the door so I can leave out. The manager's like, y'all need to go home. Everybody go home. If anybody else is around this store, you're going to go to jail. Point blank, period. Me and David walk across the street, and we're literally trying to wait for Terrell, like to see what's going on with Terrell. We're trying to see what's going on with Terrell. The ambulance and everything had came. So the manager is still yelling, telling us to go downstairs, like go down in the train station and leave. So David is like, he didn't want to leave Terrell, which is, it's cool because we're all cool. So we go down the stairs and we come up on the other side so the manager couldn't see us. So we're standing there, like literally looking down the block. So finally, maybe after like 30 minutes, okay, or maybe 40 minutes, it was a minute. Terrell comes walking. He's walking across the street. He's on the phone. So we go down the stairs and we come back up and we meet Terrell on the other side. So Terrell is like,
damn, I thought y'all left.
So Dave was like,
nah, we not leaving you. We ain't leaving you because we don't know where this wicked went.
So we come down the stairs, the whole train ride. We're talking about this. John Boy attacked us. It was crazy. So Terrell goes his way, and me and David is going to his house. When we get to the house, his mother had bought a bunch of stuff from Macy's. She had perfumes, she had clothes, shoes. This lady hands me a bag. She's like, "Here, this is for you." So David is like, so I'm like, "For me?" She like,
Yeah, open it.
so I open up the bag. It's perfume. It's like a nice blouse, and it was like a little purse, crossbody, small purse. It was like this small, okay? And it was like really sparkly. Like it kind of went with the blouse. So she's like,
Yeah, me got that for you. I seen it, and I know you would look so pretty with it, so I wanted to get it for you.
so I'm like, "Thank you." I'm like, you didn't have to. How much was this? Like I can give you the money for it.
She's like, no, it's a gift. Me giving you a gift because me really like you. I like you for my son, you know. So yeah, I may want to buy you this.
So I'm like, "Oh wow, thank you." So David is like, and I'm just looking like, "Okay, thank you." So she says,
This event coming up on Saturday, and me buy 2 tickets. Me want you to come with me.
so I'm like, "Okay."
She's like, yeah, because David said you don't work Saturday, so I buy the tickets. We go Saturday, me and you.
So David like,
What about me?
she like,
Oh, you're back over there. I bought you some stuff too.
he
Like, no, what about me for the event?
she like,
No, this is me and her. It's girls' day. Me and her. We gonna spend time together.
so I'm just like, okay. David is like, so he takes the bag and goes in the room. I guess he's obviously annoyed, y'all. I don't know. So I feel awkward. I feel weird because I'm like, why is this lady this? But y'all, this went on. I'm gonna fast forward this story. This went on. Okay, me and David were still like seeing each other for a couple of weeks. This went on for the weeks. His mother was buying things. His mother was texting me, calling me just to talk, all kinds of stuff, y'all. So I don't know what happened. Okay. All I know is one day his mother called my phone. And I'm just telling you how me and David ended, okay? His mother called my phone and was like, "Are you and David still a thing? Like you guys still talking and stuff?" So I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, I'm like, "Wow, what happened?" So David is in the background, like, "You supposed to be my mother. Like, I don't understand. How you going against your own son? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy." So I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What's going on?" She like, "David come here. He dad come home. David had a Jezebel in my house. It wasn't you. Me don't play that. Me don't play that." So I'm like, wait. He had another girl at the house? She's like, "Yeah, me tell that team to get out of my house. Get out of my house. Get out of my house, man. We don't play that. You have one girl, you stay with a girl. I don't play that. We don't raise you to be like that." So David is like, "You know what? This is bugged out. I'm getting out. Yeah, you get out. You get out. Get out of my house." I'm like, "Yo, what is going on?" So I'm like, "Can I call you back?" She like, yeah, call me back, baby." So I hung up the phone. I called David. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" He like,
Yo, like, it's not how it sounds, King. It's not how it sounds.
so I'm like, "I don't know what's going on." She said you had a girl at the house. He's like,
Yeah, she was twisting my hair. So, I don't know. It all looks bad. It looks really bad on my part.
so I'm like, okay. So y'all, while I'm talking to him on the phone, his mother texts my phone, like, "Come to the house." So I come to the house. I ended up going to the house, okay? And yes, yeah, because for y'all that thinking, I'm just trying to fast forward the story. I did go to this event with the mother. she had the same blouse and purse, y'all. Like we were dressed almost alike. It was just the bottom was different. I had on a black skirt. She had on black pants. So it was just weird. It was just very weird, y'all. Okay. So I don't know how to take it. I'm like, David was the only child. Was I like a daughter that she always wanted? I don't know. I didn't know how to take this. So I did end up going to the house, and by the time I got there, they was in the kitchen eating. The mother jumps up and she's like,
Let me make your plates. Go wash it. Go wash up. Wash up.
so I'm like, I go, I wash my hands. I come back to the kitchen. She's making the plate. David is sitting at the table like, okay. So I send him a text to his phone. I'm like, if you don't want to see me anymore, it's fine. But, I know we work together, so it's probably going to be weird. So David is just like, no, it's not even that. It's like, she's just really getting on my fucking nerves. So I'm like, it's all good. She brings the plate to the table, y'all. She's like,
So, David, I want to know what's going on between you and Ken here. You two boyfriend and girlfriend? Because if you're not boyfriend and girlfriend, then you need to tell me that. Because me don't appreciate you bringing Jezebel to my house.
So David is like,
You still talking about this? Like the girl wanted to do my hair, I let her do my hair. That's all it was.
You had the girl inside the room.
he like,
Yeah, she was doing my hair. She was twisting my hair up. Like, the only reason why Kane did my hair in the kitchen was because she washed my hair. Like,
Me don't give a damn about that. I don't want your fast girl in my house. I like this girl. You be with this girl.
so he like,
you forcing me to be with her?
so she's like,
Me not forcing you. Me telling you. You need to be with someone like her.
so I'm like, I mean, if he don't want to be with me, he doesn't have to be with me.
No, you hush. You hush your mouth.
I'm like, okay. So y'all, after that day, it was crazy. It was crazy. I stopped seeing David, okay, because David was a thought. Okay, he was a thought. He kept getting into it with his mother because he kept bringing different chicks to the house, doing whatever it was that he was doing. Okay, so and he was lying about it. He was just like, oh no, I'm studying with her, or this one's doing my hair, that one's doing my hair. So I just knew right then and there I did not want to be in a relationship with him. I didn't want to be his girlfriend. Okay, we can just stick to hanging out how we're doing, like going on lunch break and things like that. As relationship and intercourse, I'm not incorporating that anymore because you think you slick and you're stressing your mother out. Your mother is going crazy about it because your mother actually likes me. So your mother has no reason to call my phone and lie. This is what I was telling him. So the day that me and him decided that we were not going to be an item, his mother took it harder than us. His mother was going off. His mother was like,
So you two not... Okay, so tell me this. So you won't be coming back to the house anymore?
so I'm like, no, I won't be coming back to the house. I won't be doing his hair, anything like that. So she's like,
You know, you just a screw. You're a screw just like your dad.
he like, what? I'm your son. Like, this is what he's saying to her. So she's like,
You have good women here and you just treat good women like trash. Me don't understand.
so he's like,
I didn't treat her like trash. I did not treat her like trash.
You bring Jezebel to my house. How many times? How many times me see you with a Jezebel? How many times? It wasn't her. How many times?
so he like,
I cannot believe that my own mother is dropping dimes on me.
so I'm like, so it's true. He's like,
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I had a chick here, but the chick was doing my hair, and then I had a study partner. She threw them out.
so I'm just like, y'all, the mother starts crying. The mother starts crying. She gets up from the table, slams the chair, goes to her room, slams the door. She's crying. So then she comes, me and David sit at the table, like looking at each other like. So David is like,
I think it's best that if we probably don't see each other like over at here at this house.
so I'm like, yeah. This is what I was trying to say earlier. So David's mother comes out of the room and she's like,
It's fine. You don't have to see my son anymore. But me and you, we can still hang out.
so David like,
What?
she like,
We're not speaking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her.
so I'm like, she like,
Me and you, we still see each other. Me and you, we still hang out. I still have events and stuff we can go to.
so I'm like, okay. David like,
Nah, ain't no okay. Like if I can't see her, you can't see her neither.
No, because you don't deserve to see her. You see what you're doing? You're bringing the fast-tailed girls in the house. I tell her what's going on, and now you're angry. And now she angry with you. She don't want to see you no more. So, it's not my fault. It's not her fault. So, yeah, me still talk to her. Me still see her. You don't have nothing to do with this.
he like,
Yo, this is bogus.
she like,
No, you're bogus.
so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. I SpongeBob the whole thing, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and head home because I gotta help my mother with something, and I gotta work in the morning. So David is like,
Yeah, I gotta work in the morning too.
so y'all, the next day at work, it wasn't, I thought it was gonna be awkward. It wasn't awkward. David kept trying to apologize. He kept trying to make up. He kept touching on me. I was, this particular day, I was a stock girl, so I'm stocking the shelves. David would come, grab me from behind, trying to kiss me on my neck, all kinds of stuff. We ended up getting written up because of it. Supervisor wrote us up and said that we were, he wrote us up for sexual harassment against one another. I had never once touched David in the store. David was touching me, okay, and hugging me. But he wrote us both up for sexual harassment, which is just crazy. And John Boy was suspended from work. But that didn't stop him, y'all. That did not stop him. So this is a part 1, okay? I'm going to give y'all part 2. Y'all need to hear about part 2. So I'm going to go ahead and end this story time. I'm not leaving y'all hanging, but I gotta do it in parts because it's a lot, okay? So this is the end of this story time. If you liked the part 1 of this story time, give this video a thumbs up and leave some comments. Let me know if you ever dated someone that you worked with and how did it go? How did it go for you? And if you didn't like the story time, give this video a thumbs up and have a nice day. So I'm going to drop another video behind this one. It's not going to be a story time. It's going to be like a, it's going to be a different video. Y'all just check it out. I know y'all going to watch anything that I put up because y'all fucks with me and I fucks with y'all. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and see y'all in the next video. I'm going to see y'all in the next story time. Y'all enjoy your day. Today is Wednesday. I don't know if this video will make it out today, but if it does, it does, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to see y'all in the next story time. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Don't forget, it's still summertime, okay? You can still be outside with the ice cups. You still at barbecues. You still going out to events, block parties, club parties, wherever you at. Make sure you tell a friend to tell another friend to tell another friend to tell another motherfucking friend that the candle's on a fucking tube. Peace.
So you feel about that? Tell me, baby.